out there. I don't want to see them happen in the Bahamas, but we have to be careful because we have some people who want what we have. I don't think Bahamians fully understand that. We cannot afford to lose what God has given to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. All these islands, beautiful weather, although we got some excessive heat now, this is the third year. But they tell me that's some sort of weather system that's in play. So we just have to work with it. But the Lord will help us to pull through it. Now, I've been feeling the heat myself. I mean, these past 3 years. And this year, man, this is excessive heat. See, when the sun started coming, I got to get under a cool spot. So I don't want to get broiled up in that heat because that heat is very, very serious. And I want you to take care of yourself, Bahamians. Make sure I drink some water. I got good water to drink. And, I'm just delighted to be with people who show an interest in myself. And, of course, I have to show interest in other people as well. This is Open Line Friday. Anything you want to talk about today on this radio show. 326-0272, 813-0271, 502-5471. Let me repeat that a little bit slowly, because some people tell me I say it a little too fast. The numbers are 502-813-0271, 502-5471, 326-0273. Those are the three numbers you can call in. Anything you want to talk about. You want to talk about the Prime Minister? We'll talk about him. On issues of national importance. Let me make that clarity now. I want you to get personal with our Prime Minister. Now, if he says anything, you can comment on what the man say. Because I just do that all the time. I want you to do the same thing. You don't add nothing to what he say. You don't take nothing away from what he says. That's what you need to do. And any other of our other leaders who were either appointed or elected. You got to understand how the system operates. Appointed leaders, elected leaders. We have in the system. We got a caller already. Now, callers, I want you all to keep calling. Don't let me talk, because I could talk for 2 hours straight. So you make sure, interrupt what I say. I want you to get those lines clicking. 326-0272, 813-0271, 502-4571. We got the first call in the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Professor.
Hey, that's you, eh? Where you been hiding yourself?
I have just been listening to you and enjoying the good conversation.
Okay.
But listen, what I'm calling about, two things I'm calling about,
Yes, ma'am.
is that those vendors on Goodman's Bay,
Yes.
I think it's getting out of hand now. If they are not controlled, they're going to be all along the beach, and there'll be no beach for anybody to go on.
Okay.
There are too many of them out there as it is now. And I think there has to be some control as to who else is allowed to go out there, because they're spreading across the beach.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then the next thing is those persons who have contracts, government contracts to do cleaning.
Yes.
Those persons with the large yellow garbage bags. I think if they can't cart away their garbage,
Yes.
they ought not to get a contract, because they're leaving the bags there, and the stray dogs are opening them, and the trash is being thrown all over. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you raise up two valid points. I'm delighted you brought that to my attention. I did not know these things were happening. And that's what I keep saying to people all the time. I am so delighted you brought about the beach vendors, the vendors on the beach, and those who are supposed to be cleaning up the garbage, leaving the bags there. The stray dogs will go after them now. If they got bone in there and them things like that, man, they go in, tear them open. You're quite right, Paula.
Yeah, so I'm going to hang up and give somebody else a chance
Well,
to
good.
call in.
That is good. Now, see, that's a good call. She talked about them people just spreading all over the beach. What about us who want to go on the beach? We can't get on the beach. The vendors spreading all over. There has to be control, Bahamians. I don't know. I got to find someone who's in charge of these vendors. Mr. Bruce, you got to help me with that. We can see what we can do about that. And also these persons who get these government contracts. People who are responsible for cleaning up, not only on the beach, but in the communities. And they leave the bags right there for the stray dogs to attack them. You're supposed to clean them up and move them away, Bahamians. What kind of nonsense is it? Then that means you got to spend extra money. You then pay them, then you got to pay to get it cleaned up again. That's what it amounts to. These are the kind of things I want callers to call into the show to have discussion on. Now we're going to try and see if we can get the authorities in relation to those two matters. And let's see if we could get some semblance of order. Because things are out of order, Bahamians. We can't keep operating like this. After 60 years of majority rule, say I count January 10, 1967, 60 years in January. We've got this crap still going on. We don't know how to keep order in our country. We don't know how to handle ourselves, conduct it ourselves. We still don't know how to behave ourselves. Where are we going with this foolishness? We need to get our house in order. That may not be everybody, you know. But it is happening too frequently. Garbage all over the place. And the stray dogs will get them now. The people dealing with these stray dogs, those stray dogs have to be dealt with. And you got a lot of stray pot cakes out there. Plus, you got them other fellas now who have these wild dogs that attack people. That's another incident we have to look into. And that's why I'm saying to the people who listen to this show, there are a lot of things we would like to get involved in, but we need strong sponsorship for it. Things that happen in the family islands. Things that happen right here on New Providence. We got to have transportation, we got equipment, we need manpower, we need machinery to be able to do the work. We can't just keep depending on them other fellows out there who say they're supposed to do this, they're supposed to do that. You may wait another 60 years and ain't nothing happen. Do you know that? You know many people have lived and died over almost 60 years since majority rule. And they had high hopes in the people they trusted and relied upon and depended upon. And guess what? People let them down. You know they're still doing that today. They ain't stopped. 60 years, almost 60 years later, they're still doing the same foolishness. And to me, it's worse now than it was back then. You've had a deterioration of standards. We had one gentleman who called in. I hope my producer could find the information he was supposed to send me in relation to standards, procedures that need to be followed. Because we seem to forget. We need to have clear-cut standards set for people to operate in. See, in this radio station, Professor can't come on there and say anything he wants to say. Can't happen. Because the station has standards. There are things I am not allowed to say on the radio. That doesn't mean it's unconstitutional. Now, let me make that clear, because I don't want anyone to misunderstand me. Because everything I do on the radio station is allowable as long as you follow the procedures and as long as you follow the Constitution. They don't interfere with that. The Constitution is the supreme law, but then the station has standards, procedures you operate by. So we go by that. That's how you keep law and order, Bahamians. You can't just open these live microphones and hit any and everybody. You can have chaos and confusion. So I'm glad that first caller called in about the beach vendors out there scattered all over the place. There are persons who want to use the beach too, private citizens, visitors, of course. And that space is limited down there, Goodman's Bay. I got to go there and see that. I got to look at that. I got to take a visit there and see for myself what is happening out there. Because based on what the caller said, it's a matter that should have been solved long ago. But there are times when we get lax, we get lazy, we get sloppy. People with contracts, they don't fill their agreements, but they collect money. Oh, yes, they go and collect that money. Well, you got to stop paying them. That's the way you deal with them kind of people. No work, no pay. God's way is you pay a man as his work shall be. God don't pay you. And you ain't working. No, if you don't work, you don't get paid. You reward every man as his work shall be. We don't do that in this country. People are collecting big checks all the time from the public purse. No performance for it. And we have to stop that. So that more people at the bottom can get more funding available to them. They can get a degree of increase. Because in this country, the people at the bottom, the average Bahamian, is getting mashed up all the time. Now, see, I want to do something about that. I don't like that. That's the overwhelming majority of your people. I mean, but you need to face that. We can't keep operating a country where the overwhelming majority of your people are being pressurized, are being put under extensive situations which make their life uncomfortable. Frustration, the Constitution speaks about. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their life frustrated. And based on what the caller tell me, I'm already frustrated about that. But you have to be frustrated to the point where you're prepared to get up and do something about it. And that's what I need you to do, Bahamians. And I'll be calling on you to do that. But it has to be organized. And I said, I think it was in the show yesterday, I said we have to do some unusual constitutional action. Do you understand what that means? Some things we've never done before. That's what that means. But it is constitutionally sound. Because we got a lot of people around here talking crap. Oh, you can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? Let me give you something simple. What I'm trying to get you to do all the time. Your Constitution says, now say I ain't supposed to talk Constitution today, but this is just me. Freedom to impart ideas and opinions without interference. One talk show host took me to task on that. I said, you can't make no policy. No station can make no policy, no law that contravenes, well, if it does, we just ignore it, contravenes constitutional law. Now, let me stop right there because I got to leave that for Monday. Constitution is Monday day, on Mondays. That's exclusively Professor Sidney McGrath, Walter Thmpso. The point is, this is Open Line Friday, and I don't want to get too much into that right now. The lines are open for you to call into the show, just like as the announcement said. Express yourself. That's what the show is all about. Now, you express yourself by communicating the information on air live. Now, some of you like Facebook and you send notes and things like that. Well, we could work with that to a point. But it is so much better to hear you speak on air. And people in the Family Islands, I want to hear from you too. We want to get calls from the family. Things are happening in the Family Islands. And you people have not said a single word about what's going on, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. See, I got to accept both as a broadcaster. We don't want to just hear the negatives and not the positives. So some things are happening in those islands. I got to find a way to wake you all up, Because basically our calls are based New Providence based. And I appreciate that. New Providence don't let me down now. You got to keep me going. Because I'm counting on you to call the show. Yesterday was good. I appreciate those calls that came in. Man, it felt good yesterday. So let me say that. Let me thank those persons who called in yesterday to that show yesterday. I was talking about safety and protection of the Bahamian people. I appreciated those who picked up that phone and called. And I want you to do that today. I want you to do it every day, particularly when I'm on air. And when I come Monday, now listen, I'm going to tell you about a YouTube channel, Professor Sidney Thmpso. You punch that in and you will get all of those shows. Every single thing is on that YouTube channel. And I want you to view the shows. Oh, I got a caller on the line. Let me get that call in right now. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Brother Thompson, how you do today?
Hey, I'm doing well today, man. Yesterday was a good day.
I hope I didn't jump
No, you jumped
to it yet, because I wanted you to play that thing that Mr. Ingram had said at the celebration the other night. The FNM was celebrating the 1992 election.
Oh, yeah?
They win. Yeah, I don't know if your producer have a clip of what he had said.
When was it out?
I think this was Wednesday night.
But Medusa, well, he is very quick in these things like that. I gotta ask him. He heard you. I'm gonna ask him if he could look it up quickly.
Mr. Ingram was telling the Free National Movement that they need to go out and look for a leader.
Slow down now. That's what the man tell them?
I want your
hear that again, man.
To play it.
You sure?
And then I can call back the comment on it. So that's why I say, Lemon.
Well, no, I'm glad you called in, man.
Yeah,
what
y'all said the road y'all are down. This ain't gonna work. Y'all need to go and look for a leader.
They're coming on home.
And the leader of the party was right there. If I was the leader of the party and Mr. Ingram, who everybody has so much faith in the FNM, said that, I would already resign by the day.
That's very offensive.
From yesterday, I would already resign. Because that means he is not supporting the leader.
Well, it's offensive to the party and to the leader.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they have this faith in Mr. Ingram over there every day when Mr. Ingram touchdowns to goal.
But do
and he got beat in 3 elections now with them. 2 by-election and a general election. He sees there's no help in the lead, I guess. So he tells them lies. He didn't write no letter. He was at the head. What else when he told them?
Finally, that's a topic today.
And not only that, Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
You could write this on a piece of paper and stick this on your fridge.
Okay.
After the 2031 election, if the FNM doesn't get themselves together and try win some more seats to be a viable opposition, that FNM headquarters will be turned into a Chinese restaurant.
Where you get that from? Caller, where you get this? Where you get these information from?
That will be turned into a Chinese restaurant.
You know what we really need in this country? See, I got to go through that entire listing of 200-something.
Short. It's a long thing. It isn't long. It was less than 5 minutes.
No. I'm not talking about the statement Mr. Ingram made. I mean, the comment you just made about 2031. Now, that's a different thing. But no, you're entitled to it. I'm not knocking you for it now.
But Brother Thompson, if I had to describe the FNM to the PLP, when we were small, remember when we used to shoot marble? The FNM is like if you take a handful of marble and just roll it up and just drop it on the ground. They all they spread all about. They're not unified. Kitty, you know, in a junkie. The PLP are trying to get in a kitty together, to stick together. The FNM is all about. The FNMs are on national radio and on talk shows bashing the FNM now. So they're frustrated, they're mad.
Colin, you're going a little too fast now. I want you just analyze that again to me again, what you just said.
You mean that it's
no,
what
you just said.
The FNM to the PLP?
No, that one. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
The last statement you just made.
I am saying that they have the FNMs on talk shows beating the FNM now.
You sure they're FNMs?
Man, listen to me. This isn't no secret because he was on another radio station yesterday, Dr. Dwayne Sands. That's the most Dr. Dwayne Sands is a I call him an orator. He could talk.
No, he's good at
Dr. Dwayne Sands stumbled yesterday. He scared me yesterday. Like he was lost. And every time a talk show called and asked him what Mr. Ingram meant by that, he had a different answer. You had about 4 people ask him the same question. He had 4 different answers.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. I've been around politics. I've been around active in politics from 1987. Active. I've been around politics.
No, I'm not going to question that. I respect that. But did they ask Mr. Ingram to explain? Did anyone ask Mr. Ingram to explain?
Mr. Ingram? No. Mr. Ingram wasn't on the talk show. The chairman of the party was on the talk show. And they asked the chairman what Mr. Ingram meant by that.
So it would appear, based on how he answered, that there was no communication between Mr. Ingram and Ms. Dr. Sands.
No, sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Okay.
You know, and Dr. Sands, I respect him. I respect him as a doctor, as a man, and as a politician. I respect him.
Yeah, okay.
But there's some questions you can't answer. You see, you can't jam me with certain questions. Because I had to see where you're going with that. I got to get back to you. Let me speak with the man who made the statement, find what he meant by that. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, okay.
I ain't saying what I think the man think, because I know what he thinking. I know why he said.
Okay,
but
all
the Ingram said, I can let your producer play it, and then I can call back to comment on it.
My producer can work on that right now.
The FNM needs to go out and go out. He didn't say look amongst himself and get a leader, you know. He said go out. So
How did the FNM
no leader in there?
Go outside the FNM party to find a leader?
Listen to it, Brother Thompson, and I'm going to call you back.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I Mr. Producer, see if you could find that. That would be a hot topic today on Open Line. And people out there, you need to call in on these things, man. Or you all let the former leader of the FNM make them kind of statements with the current leader in person at the meeting? What kind of respect is that? What are we saying? A former prime minister making, well, based on what I'm hearing now, let me make sure I get it right. Based on what I'm hearing, that's very offensive to the party, very offensive to the leader of the party, in the presence of the leader. What kind of nonsense is that? Go outside of the FNM, look for a leader? Anyhow, Mr. Producer, see if you can get that for me. I am not privy to a lot of information, and that's why I keep saying to people all the time, please call into the radio show. When we have open line, when we have other topics we're discussing, bring these things up, Bahamians. Let me just say this. You know we need diversity in the House of Assembly. Now I can bring you the proof on this now. From 1968, and this is something the electorate doesn't seem to understand. From 1968, when the PLP got 29 seats out of 38 seats, to 1992, they had a massive landslide of seats all the time there was a general election. That's how the electorate voted. And I can get the facts on that and give you every single thing that happened the numbers of votes, seats they got, etc., etc. Because it don't seem like we remember these things. Then 1992, Ms. Ingram came on the scene, took 2 terms, and then after him, he had 2 terms, then they went back to the PLP. And when Mr. Ingram had it, he had a massive landslide of seats. Went to the F&M. So when you look at the PLP party when they were in government, the F&M party in government, in opposition, they could do any and everything they wanted to do in the Senate and in the House of Assembly. No, nothing there to block them. I still can't understand why they didn't solve these problems, these major national problems. And that is my question. Major national problems the government of the Bahamas has never dealt with. I got a call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there? Caller, come on. You live? Mr. Thmpso, I'm not hearing the caller. Caller, please call back if you drop off the line. When I call you onto the line, please listen to your telephone. Don't try to listen to the radio because we have a delay when that happens. So I'd like to encourage the call again. And I have to be patient with callers because I think some of them don't fully understand. They're listening to the radio and still trying to listen to me at the same time. But when you make the call, turn the radio down or turn it off completely and listen to the show on your telephone. That would be the best way to deal with that. But that was a good call that came in just now from that particular caller. And there has to be, and I'm going to speak to this probably on Monday, which is Constitution Day. We cannot continue operating a country where there's such a massive imbalance in the House of Assembly. A couple of people over there got 2 or 3 seats or 8 seats, whatever it is now. I think 33 and 8. That's 41. We've had this from 1968, Bahamians, straight on through. The Bahamian electorate has given a political party a massive landslide of seats every single time. Is that the way we want to go for the next 53 years? Or 62 years? Whatever amount of time from 68? Come on, man. From 67, that's 60 years. Looking at 59 years. All during that time, the Bahamian electorate has always done it. Lock, stock, and barrel. And I think we need to look at that very closely. We don't have diversity in the House of Assembly. We don't have diversity in the Senate. Is that the way we want to continue going? This is something the electorate need to think about. And they're not thinking about it. Let me stop right there. This is Open Line Friday. The lines are open 326-0272, 813-0271, 502-4571. I'll leave that for Monday when I have Constitution Day. Because Bahamians, there are some things we are not giving serious consideration to. At the constituency level, at the national level, at the island level, at the inter-island level, at the regional level, we ain't giving no consideration to these major issues that has a direct effect on our lives. We can't keep operating like that. We're drowning in problems. But yet you give a political party such a massive landslide of seats. And then people jump up and say, ain't no difference. What you mean ain't no difference? Whichever way you vote. But most of you didn't participate in the last election. The man tell me over 200,000 people on the register. You didn't get the overwhelming majority of them to vote in the register. Why? These are things we need to think about, Bahamians. Anyhow, let me stop. I can leave that for Monday. The lines are open. We want to talk about some other things today. Open line show today for you to call in, like the two callers did. And I appreciate those two calls that came in. We need more calls, Damien. And those are good topics that came up. And I want you to comment on them also. What, of course, the second caller made. I didn't even notice it happened. I'm delighted that he brought it to my attention. I'm excited to hear what the man say. But I think it's downright offensive and disrespectful to make remarks like that right with the leader. They have a leader, you know. That party has a leader. The Free National Movement Party has a leader, the Honorable Michael Bintard, leader of the Free National Movement, leader of Her Majesty's opposition in the House. That's two positions, for those who don't know. One in the House, parliamentary representative for a particular constituency, his particular constituency, but he's also leader of Her Majesty's, well, not Her Majesty, His Majesty now. But our Constitution say about the Queen. We got to fix that. That ain't get fixed yet. That's another thing, and I won't get into that today. His Majesty's loyal opposition. That's King Charles, I should say. So the lines are open, 326-0272, 813-0271, Please call in the Let's get the discussion going. I like those two calls that came in. That really made me feel good. Now listen, you got to give me a good day today, you know. I want plenty of calls coming in today. Let us discuss these issues that affect our lives. Let's see what we can do with them, Bahamians. We can't let these problems drown us out. And all of us just simply come to realize we ain't got no country no more. We can't let that happen. So I need your active participation to make these calls. We're going to go to break. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Wake up every weekday on 99.5 FM.
This is Steve Harvey, your main man.
With a Steve Harvey Morning Show.
This is Sasha calling from Portland, Oregon. Nephew Tommy, I didn't know that was you that was on the show, Ready to Love. Nephew Tommy, you are cute. Ooh, Nephew Tommy. All that light-skinned beautifulness.
Thank you, baby.
All right, son.
Thank you. Yeah, let me clear that up for y'all. The reason she didn't know is because, see, he got so much sense on that show.
Weekday morning from 6 to 10. Let's go. Over here on
99.5 FM.
I'm out.
Ready to make this school year the most stylish one yet? Head over to Brass and Leather, Charlotte Street or Marathon Mall, and the Luggage Store Centerville. Upgrade your look with iconic backpacks from Kipling, Herschel, Stephen Joseph, or the all-leather from Land. Plus, get rewarded. Buy any backpack or wheel backpack from the Toto Ecol collection and get an exclusive gift with purchase. Don't wait. Gear up in style today at the Brass and Leather Shop and the Luggage Store.
When power goes out, will your business survive the silence? Every second without power means lost sales, missed deadlines, and disappointed customers. With a cat generator from Machinery and Energy Limited, you're not just buying equipment, you're investing in uptime, reliability, and peace of mind. Stay Opus, stay profitable, stay protected, always on, always ready. Call Machinery and Energy Limited today, located on College Avenue, Oaksfield, at 323-5701, or visit me-ltd.com to protect what you've built.
Shop early to get your uniforms and get Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Free monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desks. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
South Beach to Bay Street.
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
All you got to do now is
This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Let me see if I can ask the public to assist the host, Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson, on a lot of these issues that we are confronted with in this country. We have to do some things, and I'm going to be very specific. The radio station can do more if it has the support. So we need your sponsorship. Let me make that very clear. Sponsor the radio show. Send me an email like I asked you to do. sales@globalradio995fm.com. Say you want to support Global Radio. Express yourself. I'm asking you to do that, Bahamians, because so many things are happening in the country, on New Providence, in Abaco, at the Keys in Abaco. And we want to be able to get the necessary tools in place so we can get these events covered. We can't bring it to you if we don't have the coverage. We don't have the support. You have a caller, Mr. Medusa? Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. That's a caller, Mr. Medusa. Oh, that's the tape. But that's what I was asking the caller to call in. Caller, come on air, please. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. Go ahead, caller. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, Mr. Thompson, I could just barely hear you, but I want to put in my 5 cents quick before this transmission has some more problems. Listen,
okay.
Bahamian people don't know how to move on. They don't know how to move on. They just go. They go back to in between from the old girlfriend and new, and they just keep going back and forth in between them. They don't know how to move on.
Yeah, okay.
It is time to move on. Cuba Ingram has no relevance anymore. We cannot allow these people that have had their opportunity, and we thank them, to continue to reach into the workings of this country negatively and tear down what we're trying to build. We're trying to move on.
Yes.
That is what I think the Bahamians should be trying to do, to move on. We thank them. They contributed. But it's time to move on, Mr. Thompson. You cannot be in my presence and speaking ill of me to my people, not even behind my back. I don't matter. Like, what type of fella does that? Obviously, a fellow with the biggest ego in the world believes that he's always relevant. You see, this is when people believe that think too much of themselves. Then they act in that way.
The electorate.
It is time to move on, Mr. Thompson. Yes. And also, look, I'm sorry, but and also for my good schoolmate and friend Michael Pentad, it is time to go to war. Pick up the sword, man. You know, these people are your friends. There's a time for everything, you know.
There's a time
and now it's time to go to war.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
This country should have been to war for basic over the things that I've seen going on in this country that politicians have done to Bahamian people. We should have been marching and demanding and tearing down long time ago.
Yes. Carl, it's interesting that you made it.
And I'm upset to see things like this.
Yes, yes, okay. You know, I want you to call again on Monday because I want to do something. You know, Monday. No, I talk about Constitution on Monday, and this would be an excellent.
I can barely hear you, but thank you anyhow.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Producer, my caller said he couldn't hear me. I don't know what's up. I heard him very clearly, but he was not able to hear me. So, Mr. Producer, I guess you got to deal something with this sound that's going out to the public. But I'll let you deal with that. You know how to deal with that. I appreciate what the caller said. I heard everything that he said. Some people don't always believe they're relevant. Yes, he said we want to thank our former leaders for making their contribution. There are times when you got to move off the scene, okay? Just get your butt out of the way. And the people have to understand, stop hanging on to old crap. Too many of us like to hang on to things that cannot help us in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand how we get like that. Mr. Producer, you have the tape ready? Okay. Mr. Producer has a tape. Now, I don't know if this the tape that the caller called in. And this is with Mr. Hubert Ingram speaking to the FNM, maybe at a meeting or some forum. Please listen carefully to what Mr. Ingram has to say, and let's analyze what he says with the greatest respect. Former Prime Minister, Mr. Ingram. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
The public did not like what we offered. Now, we may disagree with the public, but they are the ones who make the decisions. So let's get busy preparing for the minute. Let's go and search out and let's find all those FNMs. Be afraid of one silent. Then we'll scatter to different places and unite us to win. Then that their children, their grandchildren, and then others, you people in your body. Except one day, you have to inspire people to want to be the Jew. You have to force them to be the Jew. But if he was a damn good man, and good win. He was a good man, he could not win. He did not win. And they decided themselves, they decided. They did not win. They look for somebody to win. Your job is to find who can win for you.
That's a very interesting comment from Mr. Ingram, Hubert Alexander Ingram, former Prime Minister, speaking to FNMs at a meeting. And while I appreciate him being able to express his views, he said they have to find a man who could win. That's the straight. I don't know if that's the same tape the caller was talking about, but caller, if you heard it just now, and if that's not the one, well, that's the one my producer was able to find. If there's another one, then of course we'll have to look at that as well. But that one, we will hold on to that because I'm going to use that on Monday. The point is that people have a right to express their views. I don't have a problem with that. What I get upset about is if you misquote them, people are misleading. I think we have a call on the line. Calling you live on air. Go ahead,
Brother
please.
Thompson,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ingram said they need to go and find somebody who could win.
Yes, that's
He
correct.
said that the leader of the FNM was there.
Yes.
Now, the funniest thing, I heard a couple other people speaking that night. I heard that the deal gentleman from Freetown, he spoke.
Yes.
I ain't hear with the deputy leader yet.
Okay.
I ain't hear with Shannon Dawn say nothing there yet. I didn't even know if he was there. And he's the deputy leader of the FNM. I tell you, the FNM, the same thing what I told you, the FNM is fragile, the FNM is split up all about. It's like when you drop a handful of marbles, one roll away, one roll away. They split up. They're not together. And as long as they be like that, and believe me when I tell you this, it will be a walk in the park for the PLP.
No, but
unless they get organized, unless they get themselves back on a one bearing, they too divided. And you know who's really celebrating this right now? Dr. Minnis.
Dr. Minnis, okay.
Yeah, Dr. Minnis' thing is they can't win without him. They've been with him before.
Yeah, but
they lost 2 by-elections and a general election without Dr. Minnis.
Okay.
So that making him feel like he's the hope.
Yeah, you know, people got some big egos, and I don't think that's important when it comes to national development. That's the tape you were talking about, right?
Yeah, that's it. Right
okay,
there.
all right, okay. Mr.
That's
Dulce,
right
that's the one. Let's save that. I want to use that on Monday.
That's it right there. And the people, Mr. Ingram is talking. And see, like the gentleman said, what called, just before you take the break. Mr. Ingram is not reveling to the FNM no more. One time ago when Mr. Ingram was talking, you could have dropped a pin and you could hear. Now people in the background, man, we gave it pin that. They never used to disrespect Mr. Ingram like that around the FNM.
Was this at a council meeting, if you understand?
No, this was their celebrations for their
celebration, yeah, you did say that.
1992 victory,
Yeah,
August 19th.
Yeah, okay, all right. Now, you did mention that. I forgot it. Yeah, you're
And
correct
when
on
Mr.
that.
Ingram used to speak at gatherings like that, he had everybody undivided attention. Nobody was there to say anything while Mr. Ingram was speaking.
Okay.
No, they have no respect for Mr. Ingram. But Mr. Ingram needs to advise from in the back. You see, Mr. Christie, you never hear Mr. Christie come and say something like that. They're totally two different people.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying Mr. Christie might not have his disagreement or his agreement with the PLP, but you can hear that on the radio. You can hear that maybe in a meeting. But you can hear that on the radio. Mr. Christie will never do that in a PLP forum or gathering.
Well, you got two different types of parties. Okay? And that does not mean, because you don't hear it, meaning there are no disagreements.
No, I'm saying, I'm not saying that Mr. Christie doesn't maybe disagree.
No, I understand
But
all of
Mr.
that.
Ingram said that you need to go to find a leader. The leader right there, you know.
The leader was right there. Okay. Yeah, okay. He said find a leader a man that could win.
Yes.
That's what he said. Yeah.
So what I tell you, what I tell you, Evan, get rid of pin that can't win. That's all he said. That's all that meant.
It could be interpreted by some to mean that.
Yes, but Mr. Pindar done get beat 3 times. Mr. Thompson, 3 times. Versen and Bimini, he come here in Golden Heights, get beat. He come get beat in the general election. That alone there, Mr. Pindar so is done design. You think he can get me to fall and me then get dragged up 3 times, he then get punched up?
Okay, thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay. That's the tape, Mr. Medusa, that the caller was referring to. All right. Let me just say this to people. See, we need to hear from those on that side of the party, hear their views on what they think about what Mr. Ingram is saying. You're hearing it on the opposite side. This particular personality favors an opposite party. So you're going to get those kind of, we have another call on the line. Let me take this call. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, Professor. You know, I've been listening to the different calls that are coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
let me make this profound statement. The biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle that the Bahamas has been going through from 67 to now as we speak, we were not looking at how to push this country to a new frontier. We got caught up in power. If I'm a political power, I want to win. If you're a political power, you want to win. But we were not looking at putting systems in place for the generations to come. Had we done that, we would have had immigration on lock. We would have had every aspect of governance on lock. As it stands now, as I speak, the Bahamas needs grounding. We need to look at where we are, how we get there, and whatnot. It's not about winning power or not winning. It's not about how many seats you occupy, whether you're PLP, FNM, or COI. Where we are now, we need to admit our failures and forget about political parties and try to come up with solutions. Work as an organic force to bring this country back into the hands of who it rightfully belongs to, the organic behemoth, because as it stands now, we are a potpourri of different race, color, religion, and creed, who everyone is claiming sovereignty for not something that they have no say in. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. The caller said a lot in that. The interest of the country has to be priority. I've always said that on the show. When the country wins, everybody wins. But what we heard was really a political thing from Mr. Ingram. And while I have no problem with him expressing his view on that, it has always been this problem of somebody who wants power, authority. Yes, both parties have been given power and authority, but look at the state of the country. After 60 years of majority rule, look at the state of this place, man. And like I said, each major party has had a massive landslide of seats. Do not overlook that, Bahamians. They had every available opportunity in their hand to deal with the problems that we face. That didn't happen. Calling you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, sir, so good afternoon, Professor.
Yeah, what'd you say? How you doing?
And good afternoon, Bahamas.
Okay.
Professor, I say, right there listening, man, here what's going on. Professor, listen here. You know we have a man write a book over here, How Leadership Should Run.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Miles Monroe, I gone through a couple of times.
Yes.
The spirit of a leader. And Professor, guess what? It's an awesome book. I like the big lion on it. I like that big lion on it.
Professor, yeah, lion symbol. Lion symbol.
Big lion on that book, but I just like it for that. Professor, you know what he said? No leader who running things now, if you don't lead up someone to take over, you know what he call you? I can kill the book.
You
a failure. You is a Dr. Miles Monroe. Yeah.
Yes.
If you come from the kingdom and you don't leave nobody to take over decent person, you know what I'm watching these set. And Professor, one more book. 48 laws. 48 laws of power. I mean, people won't recommend that. I recommend that for the people who say you want to be leader, and the Holy Bible and the Constitution.
Okay.
And Professor, you know why everybody running leader, they're making a fool of themselves around in this place?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't listen to them. You know why? They trying to start a war and nothing with the Constitution.
Nothing about the Constitution, yes.
No, they running on with all kind of things. Professor, why don't you just get the Constitution and say, listen here, this is not Constitution.
Yes.
When we study that Constitution, you know much things. Professor, you don't say, I can teach some of your words. I don't want you to tell me a pleasure up. You know what things in that Constitution?
Plenty.
What we don't know nothing about?
Don't know nothing about it. Never abused it.
Leaders.
Never abused it.
And listen, the Senate never used it. They sign in all kind of
crap.
There's nothing to gender. What you talking about?
All kind
Nobody
of crap.
doing things. So let's get up. Me get my things in here.
Yes.
Right? I want to talk to the Minister of Education. Listen, like the Bible says, when these old said these people are joining gang in the school and doing writing up all over the place, when they die out, that teacher are church. three forms of making money, three skills of making money, and make sure they learn how to swim. And so we'll have a better generation. That's why I can leave it right there.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, caller, for your contribution. And I appreciate the various views of people who call into the show. That is very good. I want to get more people to participate in the shows so we can have the diversity of information. But let me say this. There has to be diversity in the House of Assembly and in the Senate. If we keep it the way it is, ain't nothing happening for us. That's a fact of life. You can't continue to run a country. You're talking about 69 years. 69 years up to next year. Where we have given, the electorate has done this now. This is something we need to look at objectively. Right up to the last election, 33-8. What the heck are we doing? 41 seats, 33 on one side, 8 on the other side. What those 8 could do? They could talk, yes, but they have no strength in their hand, Bahamians, to change anything. They just pass it right in the House. You others just like a bunch of sheep, pass it, whether it be good or bad. Nobody stands up and say, stop this crap, stop this foolishness. Many of these constituencies don't get any representation whatsoever because the problems they have there have been there for decades. Nothing has changed. But the people getting paid, getting money. Huh? That's what's happening now. Has been happening from 68 right on up to now. And I think we need to look at that seriously and ask ourselves, is this the way we want to go for the next 60 years? We haven't been thinking. We got all kind of problems in this place. We have been having administration after administration after administration, and the administrations have had massive power in their hand. They carry everything. And yet we can't get nothing solved? What kind of foolishness is that? That can't make any sense. The image you need to show me how it makes sense. I don't see any sense in it. Yes, a political party may win an election. What happens after the election? Then what? You go to sleep? While you're sleeping, people suffer? Is that what you want? Because many people have lived putting their trust and their dreams into political personalities who have let them down, crashing to the ground. It has happened every time in an election. It looks like we can't wake up to that. Are we that blind we can't see? The lines are open, 326-0272, 813-0271, 502-4571. Bahamians, we are in serious trouble. We've got to deal with the problems. See, the problems that were mentioned by the callers who called first into the show. Those are minor problems, the first one, the minor problem, but they could easily become major problems if not handled properly. We have to put the interests of the nation first and foremost. We have not yet achieved our national objective as a nation. It's right there in the Constitution. We have to be a nation under God. Pastor Cooper, Dr. Ari Cooper at the time, he gave that first independence sermon, July the 10th, 1973. Gave us what God wants us to do as a nation. We ain't achieved it yet. 53 years later, we have not achieved it, Bahamians. That is something for deep reflection, deep concern. When are we going to get it done? We're not 54 here now. And we're right here marking time, doing foolishness. While political parties have their way and they come and they go, the government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. You can have your political body, but you don't have to be the government of the Bahamas. I'm going to speak more of that on Monday. The point is, Bahamians, we've got to deal with these crushing, burdensome problems. Many people out there, when they come in this place, they sneak in here. They don't want to leave. Even people who are invited to come in, they overstay their time. They don't want to leave. Same teachers coming from Guyana. When time for them to leave, you think they want to leave? No. They're going to stay right here. You got to send them back home. So we got to be careful of the people we bringing in this place. It has always been a problem with the strangers, the foreigners, the aliens, the outsiders. Given an opportunity to come to say they want to help us. And 60 years later, we still got strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders in this place talking about they helping us. We should eliminate that long time ago. Now, I'm not saying that there are people who can't contribute. I have no problem with that. But we got too many who've been here too long. And they're not contributing anything except grabbing for themselves. That's what they're doing. And bypassing the Bahamian and wanting to control the Bahamian. That's what they're doing. That cannot be good, Bahamian. We have to organize against that. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thmpso on the Global Radio. I'm waiting to hear from you, Bahamians. This is Open Line Friday. Let's get the discussion going. We started off good. I wanted to continue straight through the show. This is Open Line Friday. I want you to bring up the topics, not Professor Thompson. Bring it up. Open discussion, man. We don't have enough of that. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thmpso. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Hey, it's Jeff Fox that rocks the box. Join me every week. We always have a good time. We've got some of the biggest stars of today's R&B stopping by to say hello. And of course, the best music in the city. There's only one place to be. Hanging out with me, Jeff Fox that rocks the box.
Locals 99.5 FM.
August is going to be epic at the Cricket Club on West Bay Street. Along with their already fantastic menu, it will also be Lobster Fest for the month of August. Lobster fritters, lobster bits, lobster salad, minced lobster, cracked lobster, lobster seafood pot pie, broiled lobster, lobster and steak, lobster. Experience the Lobster Fest at the Cricket Club on West Bay Street. They're open Sundays through Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with live music on Friday nights. And there's a Sand Spear special, free for $11. So, for that same great food and fun and the August Lobster Fest, come to the Cricket Club, Haynes Oval, West Bay Street, telephone 326-4720.
Back to school means back to John West. We have school shoes for toddlers to college kids. Teachers, we have shoes for you too, like heels and flat comfy shoes. And now introducing Hush Puppies. This iconic brand focuses on comfort and style. Don't forget, we also have a variety of your favorites, like slippers, sandals, Crocs, sneakers, including Reebok Classics, and even safety boots. Whatever your footwear needs, let us put shoes on your feet.
John West Shoe Company, located Carmichael Road West, Plaza behind the Walk-Up Wendy's. Contact us at 603.
Original Patty's Bakery Limited on Harrow Road has lots of goodies waiting for you. Hot cross buns, Jamaica spice buns with cheese, escovitch fried fish, tasty patties, jerk and pastries, the delicious weekend special of chicken and mutton roti. They're open Monday through Saturday from 6:45 a.m. to 8 p.m. You may not realize it, but the most important ingredient in their products is you. So hop on down to the place where quality is always
Renovating
job
your
number
apartment,
one.
furnishing an Airbnb, or just want that hotel-grade look in your home? Then stop by Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall. Get the complete queen package for just $899 or go king for just $999. Not looking for a complete bedroom? No problem. Shop our hotel inventory piece by piece. Ceiling fans for just $40. Love seats for $150. Bed benches starting at $50. Floor lamps for $65. Nightstands starting at $60. Queen headboard and frame sets for just $175. plus mirrors, desks, king mattresses, king headboards and frames, and so much more. Whether you're furnishing one room or an entire property, we've got liquidation prices on quality hotel inventory. And yes, local delivery is available. Visit Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall or call 3...
From cable beats to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
All you got to do now is
This is Professor Sidney McGarta Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. I'm trying to get the Bahamians to understand. There are some things that are happening in our country. We are not aggressive as we ought to be in dealing with these problems, Bahamians. We can't just be sitting down, doing nothing, when you have persons you gave authority to perform on your behalf. People are falling apart. That doesn't make any sense. We have to do better than that. We have on the line Kai Mills from Abaco. He's going to speak to it. Brother Mills, go ahead, please. Brother Mills. Mr. Bruce, is he still there? Mr. Bruce, I'm not hearing him. Okay, Brother Mills? I'm still not hearing anything. Brother Mills, are you there? Brother Kai Mills, are you there? Mr. Zeus, I'm not hearing him. I don't know. Maybe there's a misconnection somewhere. I'm just not getting anything. But let me continue till we could get Mr. Mills back online. The point is, Bahamians need to wake up. You've got to speak to what's happening in your location throughout the country. Some of you are too silent. Whether those things be positive or negative, fine. I don't have a problem with that. In broadcasting, we have to bring you the positives and the negatives. But we need your cooperation. And you have to be willing to communicate with us, to be able to give accurate and precise information so that it could be done. Is he online now? Okay, Mr. Mills, are you there?
I'm here, brother. I'm here, live and living.
Oh, good. Okay, all right. I wasn't hearing you at first, but I want you to give us an understanding of what's happening on Grand Key.
I see over the Bahamas.
I think we lost him again, Mr. Producer.
My take on what's going on here, this is a national emergency that the people on a key that's 45 miles off the mainland, everybody bragging about 100 days of the Progressive Liberal Party being in power, but it's being misread for the people of Grand Key that the power could be off 1 week. My take is, where is the member of parliament? Kai Mills, if I was elected, I would be on that key every day until power is restored. My thing is that if this was Hopetown, a predominantly white area, would the power be off in Hopetown for 1 week without any assistance? Would the power be off in Maniwaki, predominantly white area? Or is it that black life doesn't matter? I told them when I ran for the coalition, I said, you only count to the Progressive Liberal Party on election day. All through the 5 years, you got to figure it out. And this is an example
While all the members of parliament are bragging about 100 days of being in office, but the people of Grand Key is paying 100 days of misery, total misery. One of my brothers in Grand Key got killed. You imagine a person got killed on the pole trying to restore power to Grand Key, and he has no resignation, nobody's there is fighting.
Yes.
Where's the member of parliament for the grief of the young man that was trying to restore power in Grand Key? He died.
Yes.
And after his death, the power still have not been restored. What is that? Black, light, doesn't matter? Only on election day? Surely, the government of Bahamas should consider this a national emergency for the people of Grand Key.
Yes, I think it is a national emergency because these lives are very important. And this is what I speak about representation. We are not getting parliamentary representation in these constituencies. What we do have are personalities elected to represent people in a given constituency, but there is no actual concern as far as the welfare of the people are concerned in those areas where there are real problems that have been lingering for years and never dealt with. Brother Brother Mills, you still there? Go ahead, Brother Mills.
Abaco is a strange town. We have not had representation from any member of parliament, north or south, for the last 4 terms. That is why Kai put his name forward, to show them representation you could feel, touch every day, not only on election day and every 5 years. You got the government you vote for. You don't deserve it, but I give you an alternative. And you went and did the same thing, expecting a different result. How is it that the member of parliament, the government, is quiet on all aspects of life throughout Abaco, north and south? We're suffering because we are waiting on the progress, and the progress haven't reached Abaco in 5 years, and we're still waiting, and Abaco still did the same thing. So they got the government they deserve. I was quiet for a while. I'm beginning to speak out, but I did my thing. I put my name forward, and you could believe me, Grand Key deserved better than what they got. Over 100 people voted PIP, and the sad thing about it is that everybody suffer. The 9 that voted for me, they are officially suffering along with the other ones that voted elsewhere. But if I was there, it would not have been suffering so long, and Kai would not be silent. And the people of Grand Key would have got their just due.
Yes.
Just like the people of Hope Town in Manawa, when the power was off for 2 days, they brought a brand new generator.
Wow.
To the white people of Hope Town in Manawa. But the Negroes, they seem to have to suffer because they're grassroots. And what happened to grassroots? Nothing happens, but they suffer for 5 years.
So we still have this racial tension in this country. I thought that died January the 10th, 1967, Brother Mills.
Let me tell you something. The power can't stay off nowhere in Abaco. Besides the power, light and thunder, rain, it's like the gods are angry because of what the people of Abaco have done. They didn't try to uplift themselves. They went for progress. But there ain't no progress for them for the next 5 years. They can catch hell for the next 5 years. I'm hoping that my people don't catch hell, but unfortunately, we are going to catch hell because the government don't care about the people of Abaco. The first thing they did was give themselves a raise.
Yes, they did.
They talk about $57 million in travel. You know, $57 million in travel to the buy Grand Key.
Yes.
Generators after generators. And they talk about the overtime, the small money they spend on overtime. But the people, what is happening with the people? No representation, no progress. And if started off bad, it's going to end bad for the people of Grand Key and throughout North Abaco. Because the member of parliament more concerned about fixing his hair than the people of Grand Key. He don't give a hell, and he have not given a hell, and he surely have not given a hell in 5 years, and they went back and did the same exact thing. So they got the people that they voted for
they ain't got the people they deserve. I still cares. That's why I'm here.
Well, Brother Mills, I really appreciate you coming on to the show today. I wanted to get
my brother.
An understanding of
right now. I'm snowed in with rain and Abaco.
Yes.
It's raining, lightning, thunder. Sounds like in Abaco. You imagine being locked up in Granky in the house with torrential rain.
Yeah.
I saw on TV 16,000 people in Europe already died from heat stroke. You know what it is to be locked up in a hot house with no air, in raining and lightning and thunder? And you can't breathe, and the government is clueless how to help these people, and it's an emergency.
That is an emergency.
But they don't see that because they partying and they traveling. Blanky got to figure it out for themselves. I try to be that light at the end of the tunnel, but they went and did the same thing because they were building on progress. We're looking at regress. We're looking and hoping that so progress come quickly before people died on Granky because of lack of government help.
Yes. Well, Brother Mills, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate that. And
brother.
You stay
I'm
safe
over there.
now. You stay safe. Thank you very much. That was from Kai Mills from Abaco. We are so delighted that he decided to come on Bahamians. Because, see, the problem I find is that people are not readily willing to speak to these issues as Mr. Mills does. We need more people like him who is on the ground, right there in the community, seeing what is happening. They have thunder and lightning, all kinds of things happening while he's talking to me. And so we want him to remain safe. It's God protect him and keep him. Because Bahamians, nothing is going to do. You talk about one who got electrocuted in a Grand Key. Okay? That is a serious matter. And then he talks about, I thought the racial tensions were already dead, but it looks as if they're very much alive in 2026. I thought that died January 10, 1967. But he talks about special treatment for pigmentation of the skin. Some people are treated better than others because their skin is lighter than yours. What kind of crap is this? How we get like this, Bahamians? We still have that racial tension subtly being pushed in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in 2026. See, this is why I try to get people to understand we have to get you to become involved in what's going on the ground in the constituency where you live. You have to be organized for that which is positive and for that which is negative. And right now, some negative things are happening all over Abaco, north and south, as Ms. Kai Mills told us, and in the Keys. You have some people with special favors, and you got some because of the pigmentation of their skin at Grand Key, they suffer. That is not a good thing, Bahamians. We've got to do better than that. We've got to demand more from the government of the day. We've got to demand more from our representatives. They just got elected. The people voted for them. People gave them all the power. And look at that. See, winning an election is one thing. Governing a country is another thing. There's a difference between a political party, a vast difference, and a political government. A government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. There's only one government, but you have different administrations of that government. The lines are open 326-0272, 813-0271, 502-5471. Bahamians, we've got to make some changes in this country, the way we've been operating over the last 60 years. 60 years up to January the 10th next year. We cannot keep going on like this. I didn't know these racial tensions were still knocking around here. Maybe suddenly. But I thought that was buried January the 10th, 1967. Apparently it's still here. Ain't gone nowhere. But we would not know unless you inform us, Bahamians. You who live in those areas where it is right in your face every single day. And you putting up with this kind of crap, which is unconstitutional. It is not constitutionally sound for that kind of behavior to be allowed in this country. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their life frustrated, being deprived of assistance because you are black. Is that what it is about? Or because you got light pigmentation in your skin, you get better treatment, you get quicker results? Is that what it's about? That's the kind of country we operate in, where people pay their taxes? Famous, we can't be that way. That ought to be crushed and put down. It only is allowed to continue as long as the electorate allows it to happen. That's why it's continuing. But we sit back and do nothing. We see it happening. In fact, we had one thing going around, which we had checked into. We understand the thing is real. I don't know if we can get the time to play it on, have it read on air. But we had to check it out, and we understand the source that we spoke to says it's credible. All right? But there are still some who will not come out publicly and identify with what they know is not right in their constituency or in their community. And we got to hurdle that, baby. You got to get over that. You cannot sit and just let things happen, and you in a position or authority to make it better. Why did that happen? Why you want your brothers and sisters to suffer? For personal benefit? Is that what you want? A whole community of people suffer? Like you talked about the people who died from sunstroke. Thousands of people. We have this heat here also in the Bahamas. We don't know how many have died from. We got to check that out. But I do know this. We got a lot of people just falling out. But we are not quite sure what took them out. They say they got to do investigation on this, investigation on that. But there are some people who are suffering from some kind of sickness that is affecting their physical bodies. I don't like it, Bahamians. And I know of some people who have passed out. They're not here today. But I want you to hang on till the man come back. But we have to do better. We can't just keep sitting down doing nothing. So I'm going to be calling upon you. We're going to have to do some unusual constitutional action, which we've never done before. Because that's the only way we're going to get things to change, Bahamians. It's going to take the collective will of a people to change it. It's not going to change any other way. Because there are some people who you give authority to, they'll sit right there and let you die. That's what's happening now. They sit right there and let you die. They couldn't give a flying crap about you. Is that the kind of people you want running your country? That's the kind of people you want as representatives in your country? The people need assistance when there's an emergency. We have to find ways and means of dealing with that. We're not connecting well with each other. All this technology around here, all this communication around here, and as if we got to pull teeth just to get a little bit of information. Huh? What kind of nonsense is that? Information should be flowing freely. And people ought to stand by it. Once it is true, once it is accurate, once it's precise, you stand by it. Like High Mills is doing. We need thousands like him. But we can't have a situation where people are just sitting idly by with their mouth pinned up, saying things are good, and they're catching hell. I can't do that. If I'm being pressured, I'm going to tell you. Like I said, the Constitution is against people being frustrated. Frustration is a serious thing. Being deprived of things that you rightfully deserve. You rightfully deserve to have electricity, stable electricity in your community. You weren't supposed to be out for an odd amount of time. Right in Fort Wayne Castle, electricity was off for 18 to 19 months, 19 hours, between 18 and 19 hours yesterday. And then it came on for a short period of time, a few minutes, and bing, gone off again. In less than 30 minutes, gone. What kind of crap is this? Is this the kind of crap he's supposed to be putting up with? Right in Fort Wayne Castle, before I left to come to the show, lights off. We're back in the dark again. After being in it for 18 to 19 hours, let me make sure I get the timing right now. 18 to 19 hours, we were in it. Came back on, and in a few minutes, bing, off again. How you expect the average Bahamian to survive like this? Can't survive like this. Then the people in Grand Key, I understand it's more than a week. It's like 2 to 3 weeks they've been out, according to one report. But the thing is, it hurts people, they lose, and then a lot of people can't get these generators, by the way. Expensive with some of them. They do not have the money. Their lives are being frustrated. And that's not a good thing, to have people's lives frustrated like that. And so we have to understand. We have to understand that there are issues that we have to deal with being. We cannot sit and let it happen. We've got to speak to those who've been elected, those who've been given the power, those who've been given the authority. You have to constantly check up on them all the time. You can't sit back and say, let them do it. It ain't working. It hasn't worked in 60 years when you do that. With carnal nature being the way it is, with greedy human beings looking out for themselves, what do you expect? And in fact, let me just add this. God says, when the righteous and authority people rejoice. Now you can look at the facts for yourself. Whether people are rejoicing in this country. Are they happy? Are they grateful? Are they thankful that they have things improving? Now, you know, school, I think school is open now, but most schools will be opening next week. That's my understanding. And there's some things that happen here, which was mentioned earlier in the show, that I was not aware of. And so we need to get information that is credible, that we can work with. And not only get the information, we have to do something about it. That's why I have to support the show. Express yourself on the Global Radio Network. We need your sponsorship, we need your support, we need your backing. And there are times when we would like to go and get some things done, but we can't do it because we're handicapped, short of manpower, short of funding. We're not able to do it. So we have to work with the limited assets that we have. We need much more than what we have now. It requires your sponsorship, requires your support. So send me that email. sales@globalradio995fm.com. You say you want to support the radio show, State of the Nation. No, express yourself. I got to get these names right. Express yourself on the Global Radio Network. The more sponsors we have, the more we can do. And there are some sponsors who can do some special things, which would be helpful, that we could move from point A to point B. Like things happen in the family island. We want to be on the ground to see what's happening, so we can report right from there on the spot and be able to go forward and make a significant contribution to, thank you, Mr. Producer, to the development of our country. So there are times when I have to get out of this studio and be on the ground, whether it's in New Providence or some other part of the country. But we would like to be able to move. And like when the incident happened in North Harbor Cove, where there was a plane crash, 10 people dead. 10 precious souls died. I'd like to be there to interview those people and get their input. It requires your cooperation, Bahamians. Professor can't do it by himself, of himself. Ever call him, Mr. Producer? My producer said, want to take a break. I didn't hear the music. Okay. My producer said we're going to go to break. We're going to take a break. I apologize, Bahamians. I didn't hear any sound. But he told me that. We're going to go to break right now. This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on Express Yourself. We'll be back after the break.
August is going to be epic at the Cricket Club on West Bay Street. Along with their already fantastic menu, it will also be Lobster Fest for the month of August. Lobster fritters, lobster bits, lobster salad, minced lobster, cracked lobster, lobster seafood pot pie, broiled lobster, lobster and steak, lobster. Experience the Lobster Fest at the Cricket Club on West Bay Street. They're open Sundays through Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with live music on Friday nights. And there's a Sans Beer Special, free for $11. So, for that same great food and fun and the August Lobster Fest, come to the Cricket Club, Haynes Oval, West Bay Street, telephone 326-4720.
You buy it, we can fix it. General Appliance Company, number 233 Market Street is the place you've been looking for to repair your AC units, commercial and residential, and vehicle AC repairs too. General Appliance Company sells, repairs, and order parts for refrigerators, stoves, freezers. They can order boards for new and used TVs. They repair small home appliances like irons, blenders, fans, and much more. General Appliance Company. Easiest way to get the parts you need, best place to get it fixed. Call General Appliance Company, number 233 Market Street, 323-6086, 323-6086.
When you shop Y Cares, you can afford to look good, and that includes your students. Featuring uniforms from all the major schools here in New Providence and some in the Family Islands, plus belts, neckties, and underclothes for the boys, and jumpers, tights, and underwear for the girls. Slides, neckties, shoes, and socks for all the students in your house. That school bell is about to ring, and before it does, you need to visit one of the 3 Y Care locations: Bahama Avenue, East Street South, or Prince Charles Street
to Blue Hill Road. It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
All you got to do now.
This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. I'm happy to have my producer helping me out in here. I don't know what I would do without him, but it's good to have a producer like I have. It's very helpful to the host of the show. This is the last portion of the show. We have about 30 minutes or under 30 minutes. And I want to get in as much as I can. Now, do not forget, I want to remind you about the YouTube channel. Just punch in Professor Sidney Thompson. You will see all of the shows there. Now, I want you to view them over the weekend. Because you know Constitution Day is on Monday. Any question that you have on the Constitution, bring it up, Bahamians. That's why we call it Constitution Day. And you can ask me any question on the Constitution. View those shows, because there's plenty of them on YouTube. You can sit down and view it and get information on things that others have said too now on the shows. But you will find exact wording that I said on the show. And any question that you would have, and anything that I would have said, fine, and I have no problem with that. And let me challenge those. If you see anything that's unconstitutional, you say, Professor, that is unconstitutional. I ain't got no problem with that. But the Constitution is right there to correct me. So if you find anything at any time on any of those shows, there's quite a lot of them on the YouTube channel, go and sit down, view them, study them. Any question that pops in your head about the Constitution, bring it up on Mondays. I want you to do that, Bahamians. That would be a great help to the Constitution Day on Mondays. Because I'm here to answer the questions. And if Professor Sidney McGarry, Walter Thompson don't know, because there are some tough questions that people ask. I can remember everything that's in the Constitution, but I can remember plenty, I can tell you that. The Constitution being the supreme law of the land. See, that's my problem. I'm supposed to talk about this on Monday. But anyhow, the lines are open 326-0272, 8130-271, 502-4571. I want to talk about issues that affect you, issues that you are going through in your local community, on your island, in your community where you have influence. A lot of you even are using that influence. You have to encourage people to work along with you. That's the way you get things done. But you can't row them and talk bad about them and say some funny things and expect them to cooperate. They don't do it that way. See them people in Fort Castle, I work along with them, I get on well with them. I don't get into their personal private affairs. I stay out of that. Although some people just tell me some things now, but they know I can't talk it, that's why they just tell me. And then I got to go home and ask God to help me to forget it. Boy, God is good. He's helped me to forget all them things when them people tell me. Not only in Fort Castle, but other communities as well. There's a lot of people out there I come in contact with. And that's been going on for more than half a century. Let me just let you know that. More than 53 years. And people have to have someone they communicate with, they talk to, they confide in. But when it comes to these issues that affect your constituency, that affect your community, no private talk on that. That must be out in the open. Because I want everyone to hear what Professor says on those issues. And they'll hear what you ask too, and what you're prepared to say on it. That's what we need, more of that. We need that strong support on the ground. We have to be organized. And if you don't know how to be organized, you call me and say, Professor, I ain't sure how to organize or how to be organized. I will be happy to help you to get organized so we can take action. We may very well have to take some unusual constitutional action. Because some people head hard like rock. And we have to work on these things, get it in place, and then we can mention it publicly. But it has to be done, Bahamians. The country is falling apart. People are hurting. People are dying. Some people are sent home to die. Do you know that? They ain't quite well, you know. They're sent home to die because they got to make space for some people who need that bed they're sleeping in. Huh? That's why you say I can't be no patient at Princess Margaret Hospital. I don't want to be that anyhow. Although I was always next door to them. And plenty of people have been going in and out. When you go in the hospital, you know what's supposed to happen? You are supposed to be better when you come out, Bahamian. You're not supposed to come out sick. What you going to the hospital for? And you're worse off than when you went in. What kind of crap is that? That can't make any sense. I mean, all this, listen, all these professional people around here, these are skilled, talented, gifted people. And you mean tell me they send you home and you ain't well? How we get like that, Bahamians? I don't understand that. I know my mother when she was there. She always handled her patients well. Work with them, get them in top shape, and send them home so they could have a much better way of life. We need to have more of that. We need nurses, people in the healthcare profession to be just like that. You help your patient to get better. We have doctors who are working on that. They're interested in helping their patients to become better, not fleecing them. Okay? Dr. Philip Heil, who I attended some time ago, work hard to get his patients well. I know they do with my sister. Some people told about getting the leg cut off, broken 3 places. No. He worked on that. It was hard at the beginning now. He worked on it and made her walk. She'd been walking a long time ago. And running around, moving around like nothing happened. We have doctors out there who can do it, Bahamians. What you going home sick for? But you have to be willing to cooperate with those who know better. But if you're doing your own thing, you want to act any kind of way, what you expect? Nothing is going to happen for you. But you have to follow instructions. So we're going to need persons who are prepared to help. Now, let me just speak to these families who have sick people in their homes, because I'm very much disturbed. In fact, God caused me to experience some things just recently, just a smattering taste of what some people are going through. Those people who are on the bed of affliction, those who have to get the water, somebody bring the water for them, bring the food for them, bathe them, wash their clothes. These people got to be cared for. And some people in the house where they are don't even know how to speak to them. Now we got to do something about that. I'm working on a plan to do something about that myself. Not because you are sick you should be mistreated. Not because you are on the bed of affliction you should be given less treatment than if you were not. That's the time you need to show care and attention to these people. Get them back on their feet. And there are some of you just anxious for their eyes to close so you could fleece them. That's not godly. That's not the nation we're supposed to be building. God says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, not being sick. You're looking at some physical thing. You want this fellow to close his eyes so you could grab them physical thing. No, we want him to stay alive until Christ comes back. Be in good health so he can enjoy what he's labored for. Why should he be deprived of that? Why should he be frustrated and not have access to what he has worked for? somebody greedy they want it for themselves. That's not good. Excuse me, that's not good. So we need to get people to understand how to care for their relatives who are at home, give them the best possible treatment when they come out of the hospital. But some of them just come out, they ain't well in the first place. So they've got to get the necessary care and attention that is essential to save their lives. And mistreating them isn't helping them, you know. How would you like to be mistreated? You wouldn't want to be mistreated. As if you don't exist, or be locked up in a room, or just not given any attention because you may be not able to help yourself. And some of these things can happen to anybody. So I exercise caution and restraint, because I want to be there to help such people come out of that condition and have a much happier life. You see the smile on their faces. That gives me a lot of encouragement. But some of them are very miserable. The way how people speak to them, the way how they treat them, the way they fix the food. I'm so delighted that we have such wonderful people around me. They could cook good now, real good cooks. And I'm delighted that, even though most of the time I don't get to cook like I want to, but we have some women and some men, good cooks. In fact, I know a particular group, I've been buying food for them for decades. I never experienced a problem with food. I tell them you all know how to fix things. And they're getting better all the time. In fact, one of the women say, Professor, you got to pray for us, that we could do better. I agree with that. And guess what? They're doing better. And the food seems to taste better and better all the time. God's blessing is on it. So we have to work with people who know how to fix foods properly. You don't give these people any and everything. What kind of crap is that? There's some things that some people cannot eat. And I had to, when I went to my doctor, I had to make a correction in my own eating habits. And when they took my blood pressure, I knew exactly what went wrong. I said, I know exactly what happened. And I had to catch myself and say, no, stay off that. But someone else in the house could eat it, it's not a problem. I know why that is, but that's just the way it is. So not what everybody is eating, or what some people are eating, let me put it that way, that you could eat. There's some things that I have to be very careful. Maybe because I'm getting younger all the time. Why some things I have to cut back on. Okay? And my doctor told me I need to put on more weight, so I got to eat some more. But the thing is that we have to take good care of ourselves. I want to be here till the man come back, so I have to take good care of myself. And be able to help others who, for whatever reason, may become sick. Because all of us can't be sick now. We want nobody to be sick. That's why God says, I wish above all things, not some things, all things, that you be prosperous. We need money now, that's the prosperous side, and be in good health. Now, in my view, too many people in this country are sick. They're not in good health. We have to fix that. And you, in the community, with your relative, can be a blessing to them, helping them to get back on their feet. So you're going to be around them, and you have to handle them right. Now, some of you do not handle people right. Now, that's a problem. But we got to fix that problem. If you don't know how to do something, you ask Bahamians, what's wrong with you? If I don't know something, I would ask about it. And don't be afraid to ask. You want to get to do it right the first time, so there's no mistake. If you're not quite sure about the medication, you ask questions. I got one family member that asked all kind of questions. And I said, that's your constitutional right, to ask questions. You don't just sit back with your mouth pinned up and you get the wrong thing. You put that in your system and bing, you got a problem, a major health problem. You don't need that. Which could have been avoided if you'd only asked the pertinent question at that particular time. And you may just have one opportunity to do it before something untoward happens. Let's try to avoid that vehemence. And those people in those vehicles, you need to check them regularly. I know sometimes it could be tough because of the shortage of money here, shortage of money there. And we never seem to have enough of that, but we got to work on it so we can get more of it. Legally, of course. I ain't saying pull around them funny things. But we have to do some things that we can stay in good health, not just for ourselves, but for other people as well. And then you got children. Famous, I don't understand how we get mixed up like this. Little children under the age of 1 dying. You any crap like that? 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 10 months. I was appalled when I heard that. That ought not to happen. My mother and father wouldn't let that happen. They didn't. But we're in a time different from their time. But we're still mortal, we're still human, we're still material. And it would appear as if some people have forgotten some basic, fundamental principles of looking after ourselves, looking after the children. Irresponsible parents, that's a major problem. The children need to be protected. The children don't know any better. Little child looking up to mommy, looking up to daddy, trusting mommy, trusting daddy. That's what I did. I was so delighted when they were there. Every day I woke up, mommy was there. Every day I woke up, daddy was there. I don't know what it is to be without mommy and be without daddy. They were all, now they had work to do now. They did all kinds of things, but it was like a covering shield over my head. And I said to the Lord, they could stay till Christ come back. I wouldn't mind. But that was a blessing for me and a blessing for others coming after me. So the thing is that we have to take care of the little children. Let's look after them Bahamians. Let's not let them drown in a bucket of water, or happen to pick up something off the floor or eat something that could be detrimental to them, or be outside by themselves and probably crawl into some place where they shouldn't be, and some injury occurs to them which could have been avoided. We must take care of the little children, okay? So they can get as young as I am and move on and stick around for many more years after that. If we don't protect the little children, and we have some young people with tremendous talent, tremendous ability, tremendous potential, we need them to come along and build the Commonwealth in the Bahamas. Now they have different ideas in their head, so they think a little different from me, and I got no problem with that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just that they have a different way of looking at some things, and that's fine. Now, some things, let me just say this now, so that I want this to be understood properly. There are some things you have to tell them. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And some of you are parents, I don't know what happened to you. You have to protect these young people. You have a responsibility. Well, if you don't know, you can't tell them nothing, right? Some of them say they know better than you. I can never tell my ma and pa that, tell you that. But there's some things you have to tell them, baby. And I do this from time to time with young people. See, their minds are closed to some things, but some other things you could handle. I got no problem with that. But you want them to be here, not dying at 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19. Come on, man. What kind of future we going to have in this place if they get knocked out like that? Come on, babies, we got to wake up. Now, don't forget I told you to check YouTube channel, put in Professor Sidney Thmpso, all those shows, and what I'm doing today is now live on YouTube. You check it out, and I want some questions on Monday. Ask any constitutional question you have in your head. There's plenty of information out there that you can work with. We have got to do some things to protect country being. They have to do some unusual constitutional action. I'll talk about that at a later time. But we are not using the tools we have in our hand. We're sitting on them. Our mothers and fathers didn't have all these things available to them. Let me stop. Pray for the country this weekend, Bahamians. Ask for God's blessing on the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We need it. And pray for the leaders, because some of them doing foolishness. Okay? Pray that God will give them guidance, and they need to repent of their wicked ways. That's what God requires of them. Repent, turn from your wicked ways. Even we who are saints of God have to turn from our wicked ways. 2 Chronicles 7:14. What do you think about the devil's evil? This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Don't forget Monday's Constitution Day. That's my day. I'm sharing that with nobody. But you just call in with your questions on the Constitution, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Any question in the Constitution, bring it forth. I want to hear from you. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Have a pleasant weekend. God willing, we'll meet on Monday.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on the
9.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B in the Bahamas.
Y'all, if I don't ever see you no more, I swear to God it will be too soon. I came home early one morning, about 10:30. I knew that something was wrong, Lord, I couldn't get in. I walked to the back door just to pick my lock. Great God, when I peeped inside, this man was pushing. Give me my shirt, give me my shoes, yeah, if I don't ever see your black book with this one, I swear to God it will be me. So give me my shirt, mama, give me my jeans, so can they run? Lord, give me my shirt, mama, give me my daughter, so can they run? God, if I don't ever, God, if I don't ever see you no more, I swear to God it'll be me so. Great God, so I gone to City Meat Market just to buy one bread. I knew that Sandman was spooky, this one keep tucking her head. I sneak around the car lawn just to peep inside. Great God, when I opened my eye, then man was in your Give me all my girl, if I don't ever see your black woman face no more, I swear to God it'll be too soon. Oh, give me my shirt, mama, give me my shoes, give me my shoes, give me my shirt, I swear to God it'll be too soon. Great God, too soon. You said you're going to prayer meeting just to praise the Lord. I knew he wasn't no dick, so I tell you to follow y'all. Y'all drive down the road, then y'all park the car. Good God, when George walk up, all he heard is I swear to God it'll be true. Give me my shirt, mama, give me my shoes to the give me my shirt, give me all my clothes and their never, I don't ever see you no more.